stuff. So we're like, let's start a band. So we did that. We were called Socks, which spelled SOCKS. It means in Spanish, it is what it is.
I
And
like
we
that.
thought that was kind of cool, so we went with that.
I appreciate you being here. I love
Yeah.
your wall back there. Is that a bunch of pictures? What is that?
Oh yeah, it's actually like manga book, like anime.
Oh yeah.
I watch a lot of anime, so like these are like just different like manga panels. I just tore up a bunch of books, taped the pages to my walls, made my own little wallpaper of like some of my favorite shows. Yeah, it took like a week to do.
I was gonna say that had to be hours, right?
Oh yeah, I made a whole TikTok about it too, and it kind of took off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And you got some CDs like up on the wall there too, on the left.
Yeah,
or your right, I guess.
Over here. Yeah, they're just a bunch of blank CDs.
That's cool, man. I like that. Are you at your spot, or where is that at?
Yeah, this is on my studio in my apartment in Baton Rouge.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is where I do all my music, recording, producing, everything.
Awesome. Baton Rouge. You're born and raised there?
I was actually born and raised in Ruston, Louisiana, which is like about 4 hours from here. It's like North Louisiana, kind of close to Arkansas. It's a whole different vibe from like the rest of Louisiana. It's more country, like the sticks.
Where you're at? Where you were born and raised, or where you're at now?
Okay. Yeah, where I was born from. Like Baton Rouge, like it's more city vibes than like where I was raised at.
Okay. What was it? I mean, how long did you live there for before you moved to Baton Rouge?
I moved to Baton Rouge in like 2016 or so. So I've been here for 5 years or so.
Okay.
So
but like what age were you? Sorry.
Oh, I believe I moved here. I was like 22.
Oh, okay, so you had been like out of school and everything else at this point?
Yeah, I actually transferred from I was at LA Tech, and then I transferred to LSU. Came over here.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's a bit of culture change, but this is where I call home now, and
sure,
definitely accustomed to it and everything.
That's cool. What was it like growing up more in like the country?
It's pretty good. I mean, a lot of my free time, like hanging out with friends, was more doing like bonfires, stuff like that, and out in the woods. Me and my friends used to play airsoft a lot. Like,
cool.
Go out in the woods, kind of like shoot at each other, make little games about that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how did you get into music?
I've always been like musically like interested and like inclined. I know like from a young age, like I started playing piano like, I don't know, like 4 or 5.
Wow.
Like, yeah. My parents had like this grand piano in the living room, and like I always like started like messing with that, playing that. And I was in marching band as well. I started playing trumpet in like 6th grade or so. And I transitioned from trumpet. I started playing tuba, like French horn, pretty much like any like brass instrument. I was good at.
That's cool. Well, having a grand piano in your house, or your parents, did they play piano, or like were they musical?
Not really. So my dad was he was like a pastor.
Oh, okay.
So they had a like a worship band. So he would like help out with that, and like they would like sometimes practice like at our house. So like the piano was there just kind of like for living vibes, but also there's like instruments like around the house and like in the garage just for like worship band purposes. And I was always like interested, kind of like took interest in that, started like messing around with it and everything. But my parents themselves were never like musical. I'm a first generation American. So like
you are.
My parents
where's your family
here from Cameroon, which is like West Africa. They moved here for college, and then they had me and my siblings. So
wow.
Yeah. So we got the first American experience. Wanted to make the best life for us.
Sure. That's amazing. Have you ever been back to Cameroon?
I have not, but I do plan on it at some point in my life. I definitely need to go just like check it out.
Sure. Did you hear stories from did you hear stories about it from your parents at all?
Yeah, they would tell us like we still have family over there. Some cousins. we've sent some stuff over there and like gotten some stuff received from them. Like they'd send some different like outfits and like some so like a dashiki. It's like like a robe kind of thing with like cultural colors.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
That's
But
really
I definitely need
cool.
to visit at some point.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah.
So they came out here, you said to go to college?
Yeah. They actually went to Louisiana Tech, which is the school that I ended up going to. Um I believe yeah, so my dad came here and then he went back to bring my mom over here.
Oh, so they knew
So
each other prior to moving out here. They didn't meet
yeah.
like at Louisiana Tech or LSU or anything.
No, they met back at home. So they're both from Cameroon.
Okay.
So he brought her back over here, got married, had children, and here I am now.
And here you are.
Yeah. Basically.
Well, having the, all those instruments in the house and the grand piano, was your dad like the musical director for the worship band, or he just was the preacher at the church? So he's like, you guys can come here and practice.
Yeah, he was more the preacher, and it was kind of like a family run thing. So like my uncle, different like relatives were like in the like worship band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they would like play guitar, so they had guitars around. I started playing guitar like I would say around like middle school. I started like learning guitar.
But you were also playing all the brass instruments as well at this time.
Yeah, I was pretty much just playing any instrument I can get my hand on at this
Wow.
point. And
Was there, sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, eventually like in high school we started I started a band. I was in kind of like a punk pop band with it was a 3-piece band. So it was me, we had a lead singer, and like we had a couple different like drummers like in and out. So like wasn't ever like one official drummer.
Sure. Isn't that usually how it is? It's like the drummer is always the hardest guy to find because he knows
always
he's got a pick of the litter.
Right. They're just very flaky for no reason. No.
Because they know that they hold all the cards. It's like,
exactly.
Where's the drummer at? And then they can go, oh, I'm not really feeling this stuff. I'm going to quit. I'm going to just go join another band now.
Yeah, exactly. It's always how it was. So like, I like to call it like more of a 2-piece band. It was like me and the singer, and then like a guest or so. But
a guest drummer.
Yeah. But I would say like that was like my introduction to like actually like producing music and like making music for like recording and everything.
Okay, so you guys would do that together, and when you didn't have a drummer though, would you just program drums?
Yeah, so I was more of like the instrumentalist / producer of the band. We had a YouTube channel where we did like covers, different like music videos, and like most of our recorded music was like me just like programming the drums and like producing instrumentals and stuff. But like we had a few gigs, and like during our gigs we'd have like a drummer on set.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. What drew you originally to the trumpet when you were in 6th grade?
So honestly, in 6th grade, like whenever I was like, all right, I want to do marching band, they had us all like come together, and like they threw out a bunch of instruments, and they're like, all right, which one like calls to you? Like, which one do you want to like do? And I was like kind of torn between like the trombone and the French horn. And like the trumpet was there, and like it kind of looked like an in-between of the two instruments. And like so I couldn't decide between those two, so I picked the one that kind of looked like it was a mixture of both, because like the trumpet kind of has like a little slider on it, even though it's just for tuning. But I thought it just looked cool.
Right. That's awesome.
So I was
it's
like,
funny.
That's the one.
I played in the band in the school band for one, like in 5th grade, when you got to kind of get dip your toe into the whole thing. And I picked the clarinet because if you stuck your mouth over the whole mouthpiece and blew into it, it made like an obnoxious sound. But then also it was small enough where I could fit it in my backpack. And I remember my neighbor, him and I would walk to and from school together. He played the trombone, and he had this big ass, case, and he's got to carry this whole thing all the way home. And I'm like, I do not envy you, man.
Oh yeah.
At least the trumpet's small enough too. You could kind of enough to carry a bit, I bet.
Yeah, it's more like a little tiny suitcase. It's not too bad. Yeah. I mean, what was worse was like I eventually switched to tuba.
Oh,
which
man.
is like the sousaphone. You have to like carry it over your shoulder, like march with it, everything. That was terrible to bring home.
Why did you decide to switch to that?
Well, in my band, our tuba section was very lacking. Like around the time I was like in like a sophomore or whatever. And I was like, you know what, I could be the guy to like step up and like make our tuba section more like present. So like I was like, let me do this, I could do it. And then like I eventually became first chair in the tuba section.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it worked out. That was a good choice.
Yeah, it worked out.
Elevated the band there. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you're also doing your other band, the pop punk band at the time too.
Yeah. So I met the lead singer like in like marching band. We were friends.
Okay.
Like throughout. And at that time, like I'd started like messing around with FL Studio, which is like the software that I use now today to like produce music.
You still use Fruity Loops?
Yeah. I started messing with that in high school, and me and her would just like kind of like mess around with some stuff on it because like I know she was a singer, and I was like, I want you to sing on this because like I produced something. And I was like, here you go, like do what you think you can do with it. And like we started making some pretty cool stuff. So we're like, you know, let's start a band. So we did that. We were called Socks, which spelled SOCKS. It means in Spanish, it is what it is. And we thought that was kind of cool, so we went with that.
Yeah, it is what it is. I like that. That's yeah. So you did that for a while, until you graduated?
Yeah, so did that for about through my first year of college. We kind of broke up. The band broke up or so. We kind of started having like some musical differences, like direction wise.
Okay.
She wanted to do more of the folk singer stuff, and like I wanted to kind of explore more and like do more like genres. And eventually we're just like we want to kind of do our own thing. But at that time, I had felt confident in like anything I could do like music wise besides vocals. So like I was never really like a vocalist or anything. Like I didn't feel comfortable singing, and like everything else I was like I can do. But I knew I still wanted to do music like after like the band ended. So I just spent a lot of time like practicing my vocals and like writing lyrics and just like singing and like getting to a point where I was like confident on my vocals. And then in about 2016, about like when I moved to Baton Rouge, I became Indii G, started putting out my own individual music.
Wow. What was it like? I mean, going back a little bit here to you deciding, you know, I'm going to try to sing. That must have been hard to do, right? I mean, grab the mic and be like, okay, this is what my voice is going to sound like. Like, tell me about that.
Oh yeah. So like, you never like really like know how you actually sound until you hear it back on the recording.
Right.
So it's always like the first time like you record something, you listen to it and it's like, oh, that's what I sound like. So I feel like that's what like helped me the most, just recording and just like listening to like my voice and like seeing what I can improve on, like my delivery, like different inflections you can do on it. And just like over like years and like practice, you just get to a point where you're like confident in it.
And then from there, that's when you moved, after you kind of had that you developed that skill set to sing, and then you moved to Baton Rouge, and that's when you became Indii G.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So like 2016 was like the move. The band broke up, I would say like 2014.
Okay.
So there's about a 2-year gap there.
And that's where you're just working, trying to write songs and get your voice to where you want it to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then
and like,
what was it like, you know, then now you're Indii G and you got a couple of songs under your belt and you've got to put one out, or what was the process there?
Yeah. So, I mean, starting off like putting out my own music, it was more of me just messing around, making some songs that I like, throwing them up on SoundCloud, and you know, kind of seeing how people would react. I met a couple of friends like that did music at LA Tech. Actually, there's this one guy that I met who he had been on SoundCloud for a while, and he kind of like showed me the ropes of like how to like use the platform, how he goes about like being an artist. And like he kind of introduced me to his like network of other like independent artists. And like through there we kind of like collabed, we worked together. He showed me how to like mix and master properly, which I hadn't like really done right until then.
And this is somebody you met at school?
Yeah, at
Okay.
LA Tech before I moved.
Okay.
Yeah, and just like other people I met online, just kind of helped me um get like my whole like image together. And just like posting on SoundCloud, Instagram, YouTube, and
And
like
just
from
trying to
there,
gain some traction there that way?
yeah, just kind of
Okay.
it just kind of like builds up over time. Um,
When did you see was a song, one of the songs that you put out, like kind of catch a little bit of fire, or was it just kind of a gradual thing? Like, tell me about that.
yeah, so I feel like one song that kind of like took off and kind of built like the foundation of like where I'm at. It's like it's called Numb. So I met a guy named Sabbath Prolific who's pretty big now. He was actually like 15 years old at the time, like really, really young, but like he was very
Wow.
talented, like very
Okay.
good. And I kind of like helped him out starting like recording. He was not good at like produce or like mixing everything. So like I kind of mixed his vocals for him. But his lyrics were just like amazing. So we collabed and like that song just kind of like took off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
On
on
SoundCloud, it took off?
yeah, SoundCloud. And then I put it up on Spotify, but the song had to use the sample from I forget the guy's name, but it wasn't a cleared sample. So like
Oh, it got
it
taken
wasn't,
down.
yeah. It
Oh,
had to get
okay.
taken down, which is very
Unfortunate.
discouraging. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Because yeah, SoundCloud, it was a little bit different, right? Like no one, it was kind of
Right.
the Wild West when it came to that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on SoundCloud, but like
Uh-huh.
Spotify is different. Like the
Yeah.
second like that happened, to like, all right, remove it. But like before it got taken down, it was already like approaching 1 million streams.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And like
killer.
that was kind of like the first song that I was like, all right, there's like something there. Like just like with that sound. And from there we did more songs together. We did I don't know, like maybe like 6 or 7 more songs together, and like they all did pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I mean, on your the first EP you put out, right? Marigold, that one's you've got a couple songs, or at least one song with him on there, but even
Yeah.
prior to that there was other songs that you have released with him on there as well.
Yeah. Marigold there was Complacent with him on it. And then Float Away, which was the first song that we did together. That was like before Marigold
came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came out, did that song, did it pretty well. But just me and him, we kind of just like built a sound together. And
That's cool.
just kind of kept going with it.
Yeah. And did you meet Palfu through SoundCloud as well?
I actually met him. I discovered him through Spotify.
Oh, okay.
By looking at like my Spotify profile, and like I just looked at the related artist page, like people listening to the same artist, and Palfu was like the first one on there.
Oh.
So like I just hit him up on Instagram, and I was like, "Do you want to do a song together?" Pretty much just kind of like started chatting. And so he was like, "Yeah." He was
That's
like, "I fuck
cool.
with your music." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I like your music too."
That's awesome, because I interviewed him before, and that's where he came out of, right? SoundCloud. And then he had that one huge, I mean, the song that, changed everything for him was much later down the line. So yeah, so you were probably collaborating way before he achieved, obviously, Deathbed.
Yeah. I actually remember when that song was like initially released, because kind of like the same situation with me and Numb, he couldn't put it on Spotify for the longest time.
Because he had that, because it takes the hook from
Be a
what's her name? Yeah.
So like he dropped that song like maybe a year before like it actually took off, just on SoundCloud. And like I remember like listening to that song, and I was like, it's a great song. And like I'd been listening to it before like everyone else had. And then like the time came where he officially dropped it on Spotify and everything else, and like it just absolutely took off.
Oh, it went crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all over the radio. It
Yeah.
was like, yeah. And that just put him on the map.
Yeah, it did. I remember the first time I heard his song, like, in a Chipotle. I was in line at Chipotle. And then like just over the radio, his song came on. And I was like, oh my God, this is my friend Palfu.
Yeah, that's
and like I was like telling people, and they're like, yeah, it's Palfu. And I was like, I know him. Yeah, but I'm super proud of him, and Cyber
That's
Prolific
cool that
as
you guys,
well.
yeah, kind of came up together. That's rad.
Yeah, I just like that whole era of SoundCloud. I miss so much. Like him, me, him, Palfu, or Cyber Prolific, Alice as well as another artist that I kind of came up with. Sad Gods. Just like we would just be like chatting up, just making music together, and it's just a good era.
Yeah, I know. That's
Fun
really
times.
rad. They kind of came out though that same scene. When she did Marigold, was that? I mean, that was a couple of years ago. So you're living in Baton Rouge at this point. Were you doing shows at
Yeah.
all, or was it all basically just doing songs and putting them up online?
Mostly just putting them up online. I did a
Okay.
couple shows, just more like house parties type thing. I would also me and my homie would busk like downtown Baton Rouge, kind of
Oh,
street
really?
perform. Yeah. A friend that I met in at college, like in Baton Rouge, he's a guitarist, and he's played guitar for like a few of my songs, but me and him would like go downtown, just kind of set up. I would sing and like play my guitar, and he would play his guitar, and like we'd make like some pretty good money doing that, because like we would go like around like midnight, around like the time people were going to bars, like walking down the street, and people were like drunk. They would like
Oh,
stop
right.
by, listen to us, and just like, oh, here's $20, whatever.
That's so rad.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun times.
That is fun. And I obviously stopped doing that busking.
Yeah, that kind of stopped with COVID,
Oh yeah, sure.
because like all the bars were like shut down. People, it's not as much people outside nowadays. But
Yeah.
definitely need to bring that back as soon as as soon as we can.
Yeah, that's cool. You put out another EP in 2019 called Heart Base 2. And where's
Yeah.
the first of all, did you do one before that, or it just started with number 2?
Yeah, so Heart Bass, so the first song that like I ever created by myself was a song that I called Heart Bass. That
Okay.
song isn't like out like officially. It was just a song that I made. I sent it to like my friends and stuff, and like my friends really loved it.
Okay.
So the first Heart Bass, which isn't out like on Spotify or anything else, it's only out on SoundCloud and YouTube. That was like my first kind of project as Indii G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
it's just one song,
it's
or a couple. It's an actual
it's
EP?
a couple songs. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like 5 songs, but
Oh,
one of the
okay.
songs is a remake of the original Heart Bass that I made,
Oh,
just to
wow.
kind of throw it back. Yeah, and Heart Bass 2 is kind of a continuation on that first project.
Okay.
And that one is like officially released on like
Apple
Music,
Music, I was looking
Spotify,
at,
and
I was
everything.
listening to it on Spotify
Yeah.
recently. Yeah, and I was curious. I'm like, hey, where's the first one?
yeah. The first one was kind of hard to find. It's you gotta kind of dig on through YouTube or SoundCloud for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that right when we get off this call. I'm gonna have to dig in there and see what I can find. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's you gotta kind of get a feel for like how I was doing stuff back then.
With
But,
I mean, you released a handful of songs in 2019, and then comes the pandemic. How did that affect your music? And were you working a lot over that period of time? Like,
yeah, so around the pandemic, that's actually about the time where I got signed.
oh,
by
really?
Epitaph Record.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was until a little later. Okay, so were you a fan of Epitaph Records before signing to them? I mean, that label has been so iconic and has so many big, at least in the punk rock world, names on it.
Yeah, I definitely was like a lot of the bands on the label have been like bands I've been listening to, and like kind of inspired my original band in high school.
Yeah,
so,
if
like,
you're in a punk band, so I figured you'd probably were inspired by a little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely. Like Green Day for sure was like definitely like a big inspiration for like my original music. So it was just crazy, just like getting that call in the first place, and just like knowing that they have interest in what I'm doing.
And how did that happen? Like, did they find your music on SoundCloud or Spotify, or like where did the connection happen?
I don't exactly know for sure.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was probably through either YouTube or SoundCloud, because I know there's a YouTube channel that like promotes my music a lot called Promoting Sounds, and usually
Oh,
they'll upload a song of mine and then it'll get like several views. So I want to say they found my music through that channel.
okay.
My song No Way, which has like 2 million streams
Yeah.
on that YouTube channel. I think that's the song that kind of got their attention.
Okay. So like, who's this kid?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just crazy. They hit me up on Twitter. Like,
Really?
yeah, they sent me a DM. It was the president of Epitaph. She DM'd me and like I saw the request and she said, hi, I'm the president of Epitaph Records, so I want to talk. And so like I saw that message and I thought it was fake for a while.
Yeah. Were you like,
Bro.
I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
was like, there's
respond
no
right
way.
away, or like you just kind of were hesitant?
I mean, I took a second, like not too long, maybe like an hour or so. But I was like, all right, let me just see like if they are fake, then like I'll just hear them out at least. And so like I responded and I was like, yeah, I can talk. And then we exchanged numbers. Then not too long after, I think like a day later, I got a call from her. And then we set up a call with me and Brett.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Brett
Bad
Gurlitz.
religion. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went from me being a kid in my room to being in a FaceTime call with Bad Religion.
Wow.
So,
Were you nervous when that call happened?
oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, he he definitely seemed to like find a lot of interest in me. Like he was very um adamant about having me on board, and like he vouched for me really hard. So
I mean, that
it,
he's the guy that matters, right? I mean, it's his label at the end of the day.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. And does he help produce your stuff as well? I know he's big on helping produce his artists.
Yeah, actually, he'll give me pointers. Like I have his number and like we'll kind of text every once in a while. Like whenever I'll send some demos, he'll give me some feedback, like things that I can do to kind of improve like the mix.
Oh, because you're producing everything yourself still.
Not everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot. I still mix and master pretty much everything myself. But producing, I'll do like some songs, and then I'll use other people's beats as well that like I kind of work with.
Okay.
But Brett will like give like his 2 cents on like maybe like a melody that I have in a song, or like just like a mixing technique that I'll do. He'd be like maybe add a delay throw here or something like that. So he's very involved, which is good to hear and good to see.
Right,
For someone
especially
who's like
with,
so busy.
yeah, and
big as
someone
him.
with such a legend, right? I mean, to spend the time to listen to all the artists and support all the artists. A band I'm from San Diego, and a band that I've interviewed before for the podcast, but also guys that kind of grew up much younger than me. They grew up in the same area as me. They're a band called the Frights, and they were signed to Epitaph. I think they might still be, but when they were telling me about recording their record and everything, it was like, you know, he was at the studio with them like every day and like so involved in everything that was happening with their band. I thought that was so rad. Like, this guy doesn't need to be here. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just very like, he's all about the music. And like him signing artists like me and like Gucci High Waters, who aren't like traditional like pop punk band or like
or even that heavy of punk rock bands, right?
Yeah, I feel like he's very invested in our success because it's kind of like the label itself is kind of taking a turn,
right?
It's kind of evolving, trying to add some more sounds just like to the whole roster and everything. So I feel like to him, like me and like artists like the new Inquirers, like from SoundCloud, like Smart Death included, Sad Eyes, I feel like we're important to like just like the whole
movement. I mean, it's kind of like the new punk rock in a sense, right? I mean, just doing everything kind of underground independently, and then you know, creating this sound that nobody has done.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Right.
pioneers in a sense.
Right. No, totally pioneers.
Yeah,
That's
which
so rad.
yeah, it's a lot of weight on the shoulders, but you know, I'm up for
Yeah.
the challenge.
Yeah. When I saw, I hadn't heard of Gucci Highwater until I saw that he signed with Epitaph, and I'm like, who is this? Like, this is like, I've never heard of this guy. And then I listened to his stuff, and I'm like, this is really rad, but it's such a different direction than what Epitaph is, used to doing. But then again, it's like they don't want to probably put themselves in this box. They're just reaching out and getting the newest rad talent. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah, they're definitely trying to branch out and like just not have
every band sound like No Effects.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
tell me, Hampton's the newest one that you've put out.
Yep.
Oh, what's that song like? Or tell me about the song.
Yeah. So Hampton dropped, what was it, a few days ago. It's a song that I feel is kind of encapsulates just the idea of rekindling like a lost flame, righting your wrongs. But like I just wanted a sound that was kind of nostalgic and uplifting and like not as regretful. But it's a song that I didn't produce the whole song. It was a friend of mine who actually sent me a beat, and I was like, this is really good. And like I instantly was like, all right, I kind of want to go this direction. But I also produced the outro for it. I just got some violins. I actually paid a guy on Fiverr to like play a melody on the violin.
And really? So you wrote the melody and you're like, hey, can you play this on violin?
Yeah. So I sent him like a little recording of just like something I did on my piano. And I was like, hey, can you play this on the violin? And so he did it. He sent it to me. And from that audio, I used it to like, I looped it and I chopped it up, restructured like the chords of it, and just made like a whole orchestral outro for the song. And I just felt like that part's really cool. And just the whole, I feel like it brings like the vibe of it together, and it just kind of gives it a sense of closure.
That's rad. That's cool. Like what a creative concept to be like, I'm gonna put this on Fiverr. So now you got the guy really playing it, right? Instead of, you could have probably just MIDI'd the sound from your keyboard or whatever, from your piano.
I mean, that's what I tried to do at first, but like it just didn't sound as real. And I wanted it to sound like a real orchestra. So I just got a real violin and just manipulated it to make it sound like a whole band.
That's basically awesome. That's really awesome. And you did a video for the song as well?
Yeah, we shot that in LA. Dylan came up with the concept of it and like the whole the script. He'd made he did some really cool VFX with it. Like me throwing up lottery tickets, all that. Yeah. Which is really cool to shoot, and just like to see it all come together from like what we actually filmed and how it looks in the final product.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's probably cool for you, I mean, as the artist, to not, since he probably edited and did the effects and everything, to kind of see it after the fact. Like, oh wow, like, whoa, like this is so much more, crazier than I anticipated it being. Or like when we were shooting this, I had no idea this was going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I had faith in him to like,
right,
make it look cool and all that, but like, just like from me just like doing the motion of it to like actually
seeing
looking like I'm throwing up lottery tickets. Right. It's very cool. But he just did an overall really good job with the video. Like it looks very professional. I think it's the best video I've done so far. I've done about like, I don't know, like four music videos, and that one I think it's
the best one. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great video. And what about playing live? Have you had a chance to do that at all?
No, not much. We're still kind of looking for opportunities for me to do some shows, but it's just been kind of hard with COVID going on.
Oh right, I know.
All that.
Different variants happening all the time and all that.
All these variants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the last show I did was in New Orleans, maybe like a few months ago, like last year. Just a couple different artists from like the area kind of got together, just did like a little house party show.
That's
really cool. Just a small little intimate environment.
That's really awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this interview. Thank you so much, Indii G. This has been awesome.
Of course. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I have one more quick question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yeah. I would say don't compare yourself to others. Pave your own lane. Be as genuine as possible, because people can tell if you're trying to be someone else. And genuinity goes a long way in making music. Bringing it backward.